Parry here with Equity Guru. My 3-minute hit is on a new company called X1 Entertainment. Listen, I'll be straight up about it. This used to be X1 Esports, and the company is not an esports company anymore, or it is, if it is, it's tangentially related. And the reason for that is pretty simple, and that is esports has a bad rap on the public markets. A lot of companies were blasting out of the gates 2 years ago. We got a team, we got a team, we got a team. Teams don't make money. It's not where the money's at in esports and greater entertainment content. Where it's at in all of those things is where people can make money. Look, currently, there are a lot of very famous esports players from tournaments that have effectively retired in their teenage years to go and instead just create YouTube content because they can monetize that. The prize money made from esports tournaments, not so great. So what's the point of just being an esports guy when you can be a content creator? So all those eyeballs that we were talking about by the billions looking at esports, what they're really looking at is not necessarily the competition, it's the grind, it's the training, it's the content that goes around the back of it. I like this guy, the way he plays. I'm going to subscribe to him on YouTube, and now I'm watching him play Minecraft as much as I'm watching him play Call of Duty. So this content creation field is much bigger than esports itself. Esports is just a way in, but there are a lot of other ways in. And it involves people who play video games on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. It involves people who use those streaming content platforms for political speech. It involves people who do, a whole variety of different content that goes far beyond just watching guys shooting each other in Call of Duty. So X1 is now focused on entertainment rather than just one narrow field of it. Now, how are they going to make money in that? Well, you don't do that via streaming because the big boys, the big tech guys, the FANG companies have already got that angle tied up. And you don't make it on the small end with one or two content creators because those guys don't have access to the big streamer sponsors. The way the money is made is connecting those two, the big streamer sponsors and the millions of content creators out there that have a bit of a following, right? So what X1 has done, yes, they've got an esports team in Rix that plays Valorant, League of Legends. Used to be around in Rocket League. I'm not sure if it still is, but that's another thing. But they recently acquired a company called Tyrus. And Tyrus is a content creator monetization platform. What does that mean? It means that if you've got a stream that you use to play, I don't know, GTA, and you've got a bit of a following and you want to get large sponsors involved in your stream, well, you don't know how to go out there and deal with advertising companies and PR guys and figure out a way to navigate all that and to prove to them that you're worth their attention and their time. No, but Tyrus is. Tyrus can go out to a company like 7-Eleven or BMO or HelloFresh and say, we represent tens of thousands of streams, tens of thousands of content creators, and you do a deal with us and use our platform to pick the 100 or 200 or 1,000 different smaller creators that you want to be a part of. And we monitor it and we make sure that you get what you pay for. That is a good system. Everybody makes money out of that, including Tyrus, which means X1. Added to that, they've also stretched out into entertainment verticals, which is basically creating content around news for various different video game franchises, specifically with Shift RLE, which is the ESPN of Rocket League news. Now, Rocket League in itself is a popular game. There's money to be made in it, but not a great amount of money necessarily. But what Shift RLE does is it serves as a platform to show what these guys can do in the next game and the next game and 50 other games, right? Basically, you look at it and say, anytime a popular video game comes out, these guys can just change a few bits in the code and they've got the Shift RLE version of that video game. So if you're already bringing in sponsors for content creators, using those sponsors for your own content, chef's kiss, easy doing. And you can also shove those into your Valorant and League of Legends team. So what have we got here? We've got vertical integration. We've got vertical integration around content creators. Now, this to me is a much more interesting subsector than esports. The esports shift might have been out of necessity, but where they've ended up is where the money is in this whole content creation universe. It's about helping big companies not be ashamed by the smaller content creators they're attaching their logo to. It's about helping the smaller content creators find big logos that bring them money and respectability out of sponsorships. Everybody needs what Tyrus is doing, which means X1 is perfectly placed in the good sweet spot. Now, what else is X1 going to do? Chances are pretty good they're going to go out and acquire more properties. They're cashed up. They're just hitting the markets. They're landing on Thursday, as I understand it. And so, to me, this is an interesting play. It's not a big play just yet, but the things that they've acquired are making revenue, right? They're not promises to make revenue. They're not overpaying for things in a desperate bid to gather 1,000 different blogs into one place. Enthusiast Gaming. They're doing things in a rational way. If they can buy market share, they will. If they can buy usability, they will. If they can buy something that plugs into this existing landscape that they've built around content creators, then they will. This is good stuff. I realize that this is far more than a 3-minute rant right now, so I'm just going to post it as a daily rant. But to me, X1 is something really interesting to look at. You should go to their website and download their investor deck. The website is x1esports.com. That may well change in the coming days. But look, they're about to go live. As always, I would suggest to you that going out and buying stock in the first few hours that they are live is probably not the clever move. It usually isn't. Things go pretty wild on the first day. Let it settle down a little bit and then start your acquisition. Because honestly, look, man, if you were bought into the promise of esports back in the day, but you're disappointed with how companies actually expose themselves to that world, this to me is the business plan that from the start would have made the most sense. And the fact that they're buying assets that are genuinely making money right now, that's an interesting thing to me. So for mine, X1 Esports, take a look. Well worth your time. Parry out.